Alright, so the first card in the deck is the Fool. Now, there's a number of ways to read each card. There's a way to read it to where you can know what it means when you pull it in a reading, and there's another way to read them that kind of describes the processes involved in spiritual awakening. The tarot represents the entire universe, after all, so there's a lot of symbolism involved. So, if you were to pull this card in a reading, depending on where you pull it and the context and everything, it generally has to do with the idea of taking a blind leap of faith, and also being very spontaneous. And of course, depending on where you pull this and where it comes up in the reading, it can be in a positive sense as well as in a negative sense. It could be that you're just blind. It could be indicating that someone is blindly walking off of a cliff, and not realizing where they're going, and about to lead their little friend here, this little dog, about to lead them off the cliff as well. And so it really depends on where it comes up to where you're going to know exactly what it means. But generally, the idea is a jump, a leap of faith, being very spontaneous, not really worrying about the future. On a deeper level, this actually can represent the idea of unity, oneness, the idea of there being one divine mind in the whole universe. And this card actually represents the idea of the jump that would be involved in going from a state of unity into duality, to where there's not a lot of ways to know exactly what would come of this sort of this kind of action, this sort of jump, and that's just really like its deepest level. So if you're using the tarot to kind of try to understand your own awakening process and consciousness in general, that's one way you can view it. If you're just viewing the cards as for a reading, then it's usually enough to use the Fool as a significator of spontaneity, taking blind leap, and you have to use your own intuition to see what the card is saying to you. So you take the meaning that you read or that you hear from me, and then you also tap in and tune into that card and see what it's trying to say to you. Just listen to your own intuition. So that's about that. Join me for the next video when we're going to talk about the Magician, the first number 1 card.